Hey guys, Andy again, spoken label. I always say my friend. In this case, it's not his mother, wife, the wife, Amanda Nicholson. Now, Amanda's going to read out an extract from the up and coming Death to All Men here. So, yeah, I'm going to turn the camera off now and mute this up and shiver for the next 5 or whatever minutes while she terrifies me. Take it away, Amanda.
It was never my intention to kill anyone. I just wanted to form a support group of women where we could all complain about men. I thought we could meet for coffee or something a little stronger. Then get on with our lives while feeling a little lighter. The idea from the group stemmed from a conversation with my best friend Emily after the latest incident of a man thinking he had the right to take up my personal space. We were sitting in a quiet cafe in Stockport on one of the rare occasions we both had the afternoon off. I was late because I got off the bus 2 stops early and walked the rest of the way, which was all uphill. I explained why hill training suddenly became my preferred option to having the bus drop me off a few yards from the cafe. The guy sitting behind me on the bus had rested his arm near the window pane where I sat. His arm slid off multiple times and his hand kept brushing against my shoulder. I had to lean so far forward that I was barely on the seat anymore. Not once did he take the hint and retract his arm. I told myself I was imagining it, so didn't say anything for fear of overreacting. Maybe there wasn't as much space behind me as I thought. Perhaps he just had incredibly long arms like that Mr. Man character, Mr. Tickles. I glanced back as I got off the bus. His arms didn't look that long to me, but at least he hadn't tried to tickle me. Yet, if he had, I would have a reason to turn around and hit him with my bag of books. Otherwise, I would look like the one in the wrong, so I had to endure it. Men's behaviour on public transport, or in public at all, made me want to drive more, but I'd been told that I'm grumpier after driving. The roads around Manchester made it impossible to get anywhere fast, and it frustrated me, so I rarely used my car. Women generally have a deep that Emma suggested, sipping on a mocha. I think it's to try to even out the playing field because there are so many creeps out there pretending to be nice guys. So if I thought he was a creep, he probably was. Still, a few days later, I took the bus, but in reverse from Denton to Stockport, and chose the seat the suspected creep sat on in the previous time. Nobody was sitting in the seat in front of me, so I leaned my arm forward and rested it in the same space his hand had been. Nope, I wasn't overreacting. He would have had to lean forward and stretch a bit, even accounting for his arm being a bit longer than mine. It was far from the worst thing a man had ever done to me, but it was still an intrusion into my personal space. That was part of the reason it annoyed me so much. It also made me doubt myself and feel like I couldn't say anything. When I told Emily, she didn't sound surprised and launched into a story about a guy who sat behind her on the bus and was leaning in so close he could see the emails on her phone. She confirmed this when another friend sent her a funny picture and the man behind laughed. It was obvious this was the start of a much longer chat, so I invited her to the flat. After a few glasses of wine, Emily and I got talking about other stories we'd heard from women we knew. They ranged from men following women home at night and getting angry if the woman confronted them about it, to men who just couldn't take no for an answer and thought women's bodies were there to be touched, regardless of whether the woman consented. Some of the more frustrated stories were where the woman went to the police, and they either didn't do anything or a visit from the police made the man angry. And guess what? Yes, he took his anger out on the woman who had reported him. It made me so mad. Everyone has a story. Most people have more than one. And you can't scroll through social media without finding a news article about a woman being harassed, or worse, by a man. I felt like I should do something, and I was tired of myself or other women always being helpless in those situations. So I placed an ad in the local newspaper.
Dun dun dun, dun dun dun. Now, there's plenty I could say about that, Amanda, but I think an interesting point with this one is, and there's one last question on this, is why did you choose to set this book in Manchester?
I set Ghost of Me around Manchester, and I liked doing that because even if you can't name places because something's bad happening there, so it's not good publicity, I have it in my head where it is, so I can describe the place and if people that are local guess. And
Yeah, I
That's
think
like added bonus. It's like a sort of secret that people can guess if they know.
I think it adds an earthiness to it as well, doesn't it? Like it's because it's an area that you know really well, where certainly a good chunk of this book is set. So it probably makes it feel more realistic to you, doesn't it? Really, as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, good luck with it straight away. Now, obviously, to clarify then for people that don't know, where can this book be bought from again?
Amazon is on ebook at Kobo, Barnes and Noble, all the usual places, Apple Books, and very soon it should be available to pre-order through the Waterstones website.
Brilliant. Thank you, Amanda, for that. And good luck with it anyway. So now, obviously, people know nowadays with Spoken Label, there is going to be a part three on TikTok. So track me down on TikTok and you will hear more from Amanda. Thank you again, Amanda. And as John Callis over at AEW Wrestling says, stay safe. And more importantly, stay over. And we will see you all next